Excuse me. Hello, homemakers and everyone in the chat. On today's episode of Homemaking with Purpose, I'm going to share with you 7 lessons I've learned from Flylady Kat. You know, I have learned several lessons from YouTubers, and I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and so I thought that I would share those lessons with all of you. But before we get into that, welcome to Homemaking with Purpose, where we bring to you the best ideas, interviews, and information for today's homemaker. I am Denise Jordan, your host. And I am bringing to you a Homemaking with Purpose. And this particular episode, as always, of Homemaking with Purpose is brought to you by Apron Diva, Pretty and Practical. We believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And tonight you might want to check out our unisex aprons that will be particularly nice for Father's Day. You can take a look at the Shelly and you can see that it looks great on the men as well as on the women. And then, of course, like I said, definitely check it out for Father's Day. And the other ones that we have along those same lines include Tress and, of course, the Vanna. And for some reason, this one, the guys are really liking this one. They just really like that one. So, wanted to make sure that you guys had the opportunity to check those out. And also, we still have a few surprise boxes left. All right, so let's say hello to a few people, and then I'm going to get into it. I want to tell you guys a couple of things. So here is Anonymous, and he's saying, hope everyone is having an amazing and blessed day. And then Miss C is here. Hey, Miss C, it's always good to have you with us. Ronnie Weaver, hello, as well as Patience. How you doing, Patience? Mickey Blue Skies is here. Erica and Kim. So it is so good to have you guys with us. I am going to go ahead and get started because there are people there that don't like it when I do too much chatting at the beginning. So I got this idea for this new series from Jennifer Scott at the Daily Connoisseur. And she does this remarkable series on lessons learned, homemaking lessons learned from children's literature. She's used a Little House on the Prairie books, several of those, Little House in the Big Woods, The Secret Garden, but there's homemaking lessons to be learned from each of those. And I was like, who knew? And it's just such a nice series. And lately, I've been thinking about all the lessons I've been learning from YouTube. And I thought, well, why don't I take a page out of Jennifer's book and I'm going to share lessons I've learned from YouTube. And I'm going to start with my personal mentor, Flylady Kat. So that's who I'm going to start with. And I'm going to, I thought I had this turned off, which I guess I did not. So let me get the iPad ready because I'm trying something new tonight, guys. I've got some slides that I prepared that I wanted to use for tonight's show. And we'll see how things turn out. You guys always know I'm not the most technically advanced person. So we'll see how they work out. But I wanted to make sure that I have my iPad up so I can see over there what you guys are seeing. And I'm going to be sharing the screen and a PowerPoint presentation. So now let's get into it. So I'm going to share the screen and share the screen. And then I'm going to share the window. And I'm going to start here. And this is my first in the series of homemaking lessons learned from YouTube. And the actual YouTuber that I am going to be sharing lessons from is Flylady Kat. And the number one lesson that she talks about, or at least that I've learned from her, is pick it up, don't pass it up. Now, what does that mean? That means when you're walking around your home and you see something lying down, you see something that's out of place, pick it up and put it where it belongs. How often do you pass an item that's out of place and you leave it there? Let's start there. Tell me in the chat, or if you're on Team Replay, and let me know if you're Team Live or Team Replay. How often do you pass an item that's out of place and leave it there? If you do that, just type me too in the chat or in the comment section. Just say me too. And something that made me think about this as well was there was an episode on the TV sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond. It was on years ago with Raymond something or another, and his wife was Deborah. They had been on vacation. When they came back from vacation, they set the suitcase at the bottom of the steps, and that suitcase sat there for over a week. It sat there so long that Deborah was even getting things out of the suitcase to wear rather than either one of them taking it upstairs. Now, it was a power play between the two of them, but still, they both walked past that suitcase and just left it sitting there. So the thing about walking by things and just letting them sit there is that they add to the clutter. So if you would just pick it up and put it where it belongs, it reduces the clutter. And it teaches important behaviors, not only to you, but also to your family. So I'm looking over here at my screen, and it doesn't look like the screen has changed over there. And I'm not sure why. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a second and just see. So Marilyn is laughing about the suitcase. Danita says it depends upon how tired she is. But it looks like the screen did not change. So did you guys get the opportunity to see screen 2 when I changed it? That's my question. Ronnie Weaver says she remembers that episode. So, okay. So now Kadia at Her Healthy Home says she's the opposite. She stops to pick up and do every little thing. So yes. So Marilyn, you did get to see that second slide is my question. Matriarchs Matter, who's Nefertiri, said she says that everything must have a place. So, okay, I'm going to go back to screen sharing and go back to the window. And hopefully, did you guys get to see this screen? And now this is the one where I mentioned pick it up and don't pass it up. And I can see that on my screen. So, okay, looks like you could. Now, let me see if it goes to the next slide for you. So I moved it to the next slide for myself. Like I said, I'm trying something new. So yes, it did. Okay, good. Looks like I'm on target. So lesson number 2 that was really, really important to me from Flylady Kat is that there is no plain ketchup. There's no pouring on ketchup. So I brought out this bottle of ketchup just to give you something to think about. There's no pouring on ketchup. So let's say you're feeling pretty overwhelmed. Your house is at 6s and 7s. You've got so much to do. And your question is, where do I start? Or you're feeling so overwhelmed that you don't do anything. You're just paralyzed. Well, when Flylady Kat says there's no playing catch up, she says just step into your routines. Just step into your daily swish and swipe, and whatever you're supposed to do, for that particular day. If it's the day for your weekly home blessing, that's what you do. If you're into your zone cleaning and it's zone 1 or zone 2 and you had picked 1 or 2 things to do for that day, then just do that. Because stepping into your routines, number 1, gives you a place to start, gives you a feeling of accomplishment, and it helps to reduce anxiety. So remember, there's no pouring on ketchup. Just step into your routines and keep it moving. And then lesson number 3 from Flylady Kat is you can't organize clutter. All you're doing is moving it around. If you have too much stuff, and I must admit, I am certainly one who has too much stuff, you got to declutter first and then organize. You can organize clutter. And when you look over here at this particular slide, I just thought it was so nice and so peaceful, but it says to clear clutter and then restructure, harmony, energy, free stuff, mindful, intention, purpose. Then also influence, reduce, recycle, unload, donate, future. So there's just so many things there that just, I don't know, that just kind of help you to just relax a little bit and just refocus. So if you've got too much stuff, then you're going to want to declutter first and then organize it. Because remember, you can't organize clutter. And when you get ready to work on that decluttering, what you're going to want to do is get a bag, a box, and a basket. The bag is going to be for trash, the things that you're going to discard, and you want it to be a black trash bag if at all possible, or at least a heavy one that people can't see through, and you're going to throw the things that you're going to discard into that. A box for you to donate items in, and it's not a box that you're going to want to keep back. So don't even write donate on the box because you might choose to save it. Just put the stuff in the box and you can put it into the back of the car as soon as you've got it filled. And then a basket to put those things in that need to go home. They need to go to wherever it is that you have a place for them. And one of the new mantras that Flylady Kat also has is, I see you and I have a place for you. So those things that are out of place, put them in the basket so that you can take them where they need to be. So let's see what people are saying over here. Okay, so everyone is seeing the screen. So yes, it's passing along just fine. And then I'm going to stop sharing for a minute so that I can bring up some of the comments. And people were laughing at my ketchup when I said there's no pouring on ketchup. And let's see. Matriarch, so Nefertiti says it's costs emotional health when you try to play catch up, because then you feel like you have to sacrifice the time to stay caught up. When you're feeling like you're behind, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, and you get paralyzed. So don't worry about catching up. Remember, no pouring on ketchup. You're just going to step into your routine, and then you're going to go from there. Just step into your routine and go from there. I know I repeated that a couple of times, but it was important. The New Orleans gardener is here. She's cooking dinner. She can't chat, but she's listening. So thank you for joining us. So Patience says she has a big box in the living room for her decluttering during the summer, and it's almost full. Way to go, Patience. I like it. Get that box full and then get it into the back of the car, because if you set it in the garage so often, it doesn't go out. So there's that to think about. Kathleen's joining us from Seattle. And then, of course, people are saying hello to Linda from the New Orleans Gardener. And all right, so we're going to get that off the screen. And then our tip number 3 was that you can't organize clutter. So that's why you need to declutter as you go. So I'm going to go back to sharing the screen. And so now we're going to move on to lesson number 4. Oh, but before I do that, I almost forgot. Before I move on to lesson number 4, let me just refresh the topic. So for those of you who just joined us, I am talking about, I'm giving 7 lessons that I've learned from YouTubers. And I'm taking a page out of Jennifer Scott's book from her Homemaking Lessons Learned from Children's Literature. I'm doing Homemaking Lessons Learned from YouTube. And I'm starting with my personal mentor, Flylady Kat. And I've learned so much from her. And I wanted to share that with all of you. And lesson number 1 was to pick it up, don't pass it up. Lesson number 2 was there's no planned catch up. And lesson number 3 is that you can't organize clutter. So now let's move on to lesson number 4. All right. Lesson number 4 is don't stop and try to pick up every little thing that you see. Don't get scattered and lose focus. So lesson number 4 is the statement, I see you and I have a plan for you. Now, why do we need to think about that? Let's say I'm in the kitchen and it's zone 2, and I am in the kitchen this week and it is zone 2. And so I'm cleaning out the bottom drawer of my oven and I'm wiping the drawer out. And when I pull it out, I happen to look down on the floor and I see, oh, wait, there's some nastiness underneath the stove. That needs to be taken care of. And then when I'm doing something else in the kitchen, I see something over maybe underneath the refrigerator. Oh, I need to do that. Well, I can get scattered and not get anything done. So what I've learned to do is, okay, I see you and I have a plan for you. So I'm going to put that nastiness that I saw under the stove on the list, and I'm going to get to it the next time I'm working in zone 2, or I might get to it tomorrow. I might shift one task for another. But rather than stopping here and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that and just moving around all over the place like a squirrel, I'm going to be focused on the task for the day. So I'm going to set my priorities and I'm going to make a list. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, which can definitely happen, particularly if you feel like you're behind, if you feel like there's something that you should have gotten done and you didn't, that can cause you to feel scattered and have difficulty focusing. So just set your priorities and make a list. And one thing that my daughter told me, because I was asking her different questions about things I wanted to do for my Apron Diva business, and she said, well, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but not today, not in this season. So just keep in mind that all things are not for today. When you say, I see you and I have a plan for you, that means you're going to put them on the list for another day so that you can take care of your priorities and get those things done today. And so Nanny J says she needs more discipline to keep from the squirrel syndrome. Let's just take a look real quick at what some of the things that people are saying. So Anonymous says decluttering can be overwhelming. And she did do some organizing and deep cleaning in the bathroom today and felt very accomplished and hope to get the bedrooms and the closets done. I can understand that. So let's see. And Barbie Sue says, what a coincidence that we're speaking about decluttering. She was working on that today and still feels there's so much needed to go. Oh my goodness. It's like decluttering is a never ending process. But the more you do, the less of it there is to do. I have got so much stuff and I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff, but I still got a lot of stuff that I need to go through. And so Kathy Young is listening while she's cleaning out her kitchen drawers. Hooray, Kathy, you're getting some work done as you listen. And yeah, Nanny J, I get it. I need more discipline to keep from getting squirrel syndrome. And so I stopped from getting squirrel syndrome by saying, I see you and I have a plan for you so that I don't go down that rabbit hole and end up over here and up there and not doing what's right in front of me that I plan to get done today. So there's that. So Enthusiastic Disc Fan says, when she's trying to declutter, she ends up moving stuff from one room to the other, but still not in a permanent home. Now, Enthusiastic Fan, this is a problem. When you're trying to declutter, if you're truly decluttering, then you're going to discard something, you're going to donate some things, and then you're going to keep some things. If you don't have a permanent home for where you're going to keep it, put it in a box and set it in the room where it's going to live. But maybe you don't have the shelf where it's going to live organized just yet. Then just put it in a box and put it in that room. So at least it's in the appropriate room. Because if you're moving some stuff that needs to be decluttered from, let's say, here in the office, and you put it in the extra bedroom, the clutter is still there. You're just moving it from one place to another. And that's not what you want to do. You want to get it out of your house. So if you're truly decluttering, you're going to have 3 things set up: a bag to put your trash in, a box to put your things that you're going to donate in, and then you're going to finish the process. So once you get those things in that box, when you're done with your 15 or 20 minutes of decluttering, you're going to take that box out, put it in the trunk of your car so it can go to the donation center the next time you leave the house. And then the basket is where you're going to put those things in that you're keeping, but they live in another room, and you're going to take them and put them where they go. If you don't have a place for them, but you know what room they're going to live in, then put them in a box in that room. Ronnie says she's a squirrel, and when she has a list, and she hurries because she wants to get it all done. Well, remember, you want to do what you can do, but don't feel like it's an all end all to be all that it has to be done that day. Spend your 15 or 20 minutes on that decluttering session and then move on. That's what you want to do. Karen says she's guilty. She remembers that episode causes her anxiety. Okay. You know what, Nefertiri? She says she's donated things that she's later needed, but I just tell myself I only needed it once in 2 years. It was still a sound decision to get rid of it. Yes. Here's the thing. If you only needed it 2 years later, you didn't need it that much. Or if it's inexpensive enough and you do need it 2 years later, then just buy another one. That just gives you that much less stuff that you have to manage. Because remember, anything that you keep in your home is inventory that you have to manage. Anything that you keep in your home is inventory that you have to manage. I'm going to say that one more time. Anything you keep in your home is inventory that you have to manage. I've been looking at all these little planners and notebooks and different things that I've got here. Let's see, how can I show them to you? But that I've got here up on my desk, like over there. And I've decided, you know what? I don't want to manage all of that anymore. So I'm going to declutter that stack again because I just don't want to have to deal with it. Anonymous says she thinks she might have a small hoarding problem. She gets attached to objects and the memories they give. How can I move past these attachments so I can truly be happy and clutter free? You know what? Memorabilia is a difficult thing, but now here's some things you can consider doing to get started. You can take a picture of some of the things that you're attached to, and then get the picture out, pull it up on your phone, take a look at it, that kind of thing. But remember, the memories are different from the things. The memories are in here, the things are over there. And it's taken me a while to learn that. So, Anonymous, tell us your name. We like to call each other by our names over here. I get it. We all get it. But you can only keep so much stuff. But there's no limit on the number of memories. So just think about it that way. And if it's something that is super, super memorable, then keep that one item, but you don't have to keep a whole bunch of things. So there's that. Okay. Kathleen was going to write plan later. I'm not sure what she's talking about there. Oh, Marissa. So Anonymous is Marissa. Hi, Marissa. Everyone say hello to Marissa. Welcome her to our chat. It is so nice to have you with us today. Patience says Kenny is watching. He too has a challenge with decluttering some things. My husband has a challenge with decluttering things too. I have a challenge with decluttering, but what I have found, Patience, is when I start working on decluttering some things, clearing things out, and he observes me doing that, it gives him the motivation to do the same thing. And so again, when you're decluttering, because remember, you can't organize clutter. You're just moving it around from one place to another, one room to another. You're going to actually get it out of the house. So when you're decluttering, you're either going to donate, you're going to discard it, or you're going to find a place for it to live. Barbara says she's been throwing things away. She remembers one of my videos about leaving stuff for your children that they don't want or need. Yes, as I get older, I want it to be very simple. And yeah, there's so much of the stuff that I have that I thought my kids would want or need. They don't. They have their own stuff. They have a house full. Okay, so I'm going to go back now. While everyone reads Marissa, I'm going to go back to sharing the screen and get back to our next tip. And you guys let me know how you like this particular format. So I'm trying to be a little bit clearer and a little bit more professional in how I do these live streams. So let me know how you like this format. Okay, so lesson number 5 that I learned from Flylady Kat was to go through 1 inch of paper clutter a day. Now, my husband tended to handle the paper here in our house. So he would do the bills, he would pay them, and then he would put them in a crate. And then the next thing I knew, there was another crate. And then there was another crate. And there were like these 3 stacks of things full of paper. And I thought, well, what is all of that? What do we need to do with it? Some of it needed to be filed away. Some of it could just be shredded and discarded. Most of the ones that needed action on, he had already taken action on it. But we still had all of this stuff. And so one of the things that you'll want to do to try to manage your paper is to gather it all in one place. Put it all in a big stack in a box, something like that. Measure it, see how much you've got. You could have, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 feet of paper, depending upon how much paper you've got in your house. But collect it all in one place. And then you're going to separate out 1 inch, just 1 inch out of that box, out of that stack every day for you to work on. And that's going to be part of your morning routine. Part of your daily routine is going to be to work on 1 inch of paper. And what are you going to do when you're working on that 1 inch of paper? Well, you're going to sort it into 3 piles. One pile is going to be an action file. Maybe it's a bill you got to pay. Maybe it's a person you need to call. There's something you have to do. So you're going to put that in an action file in your inbox. The second pile is going to be things that need to be filed away. Put them in your inbox as well. And then there's going to be some things that you just need to discard or trash or shred, and then put them in a pile. And then on your planning day, which for me is Wednesday, for others it might be Sunday when they're working on their Sunday basket. But on your planning day, whatever day that is for you, you're going to go through that action folder, and you're going to pay those bills. You're going to make those phone calls. You're going to take action on whatever it is you put there. The things that need to be filed, you're going to go ahead and file them away. And it won't be a lot, because it's only been a few things that you've been working through each day that week. So by the end of the week, as Flylady Kat says, you will have gone through 5 inches of paper by the end of the week. And by the end of the month, just think about how many inches of paper that will be. So it definitely reduces your paper dragging. Definitely reduces your paper dragging. So work on 1 inch of paper a day. And I do have 2 videos about paper clutter, and I will link them in the description box below so that you can check them out. So let's go ahead and we will go on to lesson number 6 that I have learned from Flylady Kat. And for those of you that are just joining us, I am giving 7 lessons that I've learned from YouTube, a particular YouTuber, and that is Flylady Kat. And this was something she emphasized yesterday and today in our Patreon membership. And I thought I would pass this on to you, and it's to do your zone cleaning right after your morning routine. I will admit, I have not always done that. I get up in the morning, I put on my yoga clothes. Well, I hit the bathroom, put on my yoga clothes, do my yoga, and then I get started with my other portions of my morning routine, which includes unloading the dishwasher, starting the laundry, making breakfast, and then cleaning up after breakfast. But I've not always done my zone cleaning right after I finish the morning routine. But what Flylady Kat reminded me of is that if your morning routine, if you get it started as soon as you get up, and let's say you get up at 7, and it takes you 30 to 40 minutes to get yourself together for the day. You get your yoga done, get yourself showered and dressed and whatever for the day, and then get your zone, and then do your daily swish and swipe, which takes less than 15 minutes. It might be 9:30 or 10 o'clock. But by 9:30 or 10 o'clock, if you get your zone cleaning done right after your morning routine, you've got your housework done. Because that's all you have to do that day. Once your morning routine is done and your daily work is done, all you've got left to do is your zone clean. Now, on plan day, things might take a little bit longer because you've got to plan your meals for the week. You've got to clean out your refrigerator. You got to make your grocery order. So that takes a little bit more time. Plus, you're planning whatever you're going to be doing for the next week. So plan day can be a little bit longer. But the planning is not part of your zone work. Your zone work is a single task, 4 single tasks for the week, but a single task on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that only takes 15 minutes. So if you get that done right after your morning routine, all you've got to do the rest of the day is maybe get your laundry out of the wash, put it in the dryer, get it folded and put away, make lunch, make dinner, spend time with your family, but your housework is done. Now, on Monday, when you've got your weekly home blessing and you're doing a few more things, it might take you an hour to get your weekly home blessing done. And you still got your morning routine to do. So it might be a little bit longer on Mondays, but for the most part, regardless, by 10 o'clock, your housework is done if you get that zone cleaning done right away. And you can just enjoy your family. And then let me just check back in with the chat real quick before we get to lesson number 7. So let's see what people are saying. So everyone's greeted Marissa, who is anonymous, but that's Marissa. And Nefertiti says she's here for my technical technology savvy PowerPoint presentation. Girl, if you only knew, I'm still working it, trying to figure out. There's some things that I'm not doing quite right. I had to come up with a workaround, but it's working today. So I figure like it's a start. So there we are there. And then Way Heritage Homestead. Hey, how you doing? So glad you're here to join us today. Chris, you know what? It's fine. Catch the replay. But what I'm doing today is I'm telling 7 lessons I've learned from YouTuber Flylady Kat, my personal mentor. 7 lessons that I've learned from her. And I haven't got to lesson number 7 yet. Let's see. Nanny J says she sets aside a paperwork day each week. Today was that day. She got her desk cleared and it either gets trashed, shredded, filed, or acted on. That's good. Maria just saw her name in the chat. Waya decluttered a box of greeting cards last week, got rid of anything from people we don't know and only kept special ones. Well, not only greeting cards, but think about it. You've got Mother's Day cards that were just here. How many Mother's Day cards do you have from years back? Christmas cards and just all kind of things like that. Mickey Blue Sky sent me a message and I'm trying to find it. Oh, Barbie says this show is a lifesaver. Barbie Sue, thank you. I am so glad this has been helpful. Paper clutter is becoming the biggest thing that Kim says she deals with. Well, Kim, and here's the thing. I didn't think I had much paper clutter because my husband managed it, but I got to looking around this office. Well, when I'm sitting here at my desk and I'm working on a script for a video or for the show, for whatever, I got paper all over. And then when it's done, I just stack it up and I sit it over there. Well, then it's like, wait a minute, I do have paper clutter. Why do I need to save the script from every show I've done this year? I don't. So I need to go through those stacks and get those things discarded as well. So there's that. Oh, and then Kathleen was just about to say, I have a plan for you, but I said it first. Yes, I see you and I have a plan for you. And that is one of Flylady Kat's best mantras. I see you and I have a plan for you. So I'm looking at my desk and I'm thinking, okay, I see you and I have a plan for you. So there's that. Let's see. So I gave that. Blue Skies is sending me messages. Okay, so there's that. And then she says she has an entire cart full of paper clutter. She needs to burn it because she doesn't have a shredder. And it can be difficult to burn things depending upon where you live. Sometimes in city limits, it's not permissible unless you have a particular container to do that in. Kathleen says an inch is a cinch. Yes, an inch of paper is a cinch to get done. I like that. And Nikki can't deal with a messy desk. It's a coping mechanism. Who's Nikki? I must have missed somebody. Well, welcome, Nikki. Welcome to everyone. Okay, so before I give to number 7, let us give away our apron note for the night. And tonight's apron note is this one, and it says, overwhelmed, spend 10 minutes prioritizing. Overwhelmed, spend 10 minutes prioritizing. And the winner of the apron note is, let me find it because she sent me a little message. I think she said Nanny J. Let me look. Yes, Nanny J 21 is the winner of the apron note. Okay, so let me get that off the screen. Oh, and Nikki is Mickey. Sorry about that. All right, I got you. So Chris says she can't work in a messy kitchen or messy desk. I cannot work in a messy kitchen. I've learned to work at a messy desk, but I'm much better now. And let's see. And then Nanny J says her paper shredder stays on. It's next to her desk. It's worth its weight in gold. Is it Mickey or Nikki? It is Mickey. So that's okay. All right. So yeah, Blue Skies is Mickey. that up there. Yeah, blue skies is Nikki. All right. So there's that. All right, so now let's get to tip number 7. So I'm going to share my screen again and share the screen and share the screen. And for those of you who are new, I apologize for having to talk myself through it. But if I don't, I might mess it up. And so we had just mentioned lesson 6, which was to do zone cleaning right after the morning routine. And lesson 7 was the hardest one. And they say so often the last topic that you come up with is usually the most important one or the hardest one. But lesson number 7, which I've learned from Flylady Kat, is to do your clutter stops every morning, after lunch, and at night before you go to bed as part of your evening routine. Now, let's talk about what a clutter stop is. A clutter stop is when you stop clutter in its tracks by checking those spots 3 and sometimes 4 times a day, and then you remove those items and you put them in their places. It keeps your house nice and tidy. Now, if you follow other fly ladies, or if you follow like the original fly lady, Marla Silly, she talks about hot spots. And hot spots are places where clutter tends to collect. Well, Flylady Kat says we're not going to have hot spots. We are going to have clutter stops. We're going to stop clutter from accumulating. So one of the spots in my home where clutter accumulates is that chair where you saw me pick up those hats. Every day I pick up hats off of that chair and I put them in that closet. And if the closet gets too full, I take them out into the garage and I hang them on a line. He's got 3 or 4 lines of clotheslines hung up in the garage, and there's hats hanging from little clips. And as I said, and I'm repeating this video because it happens every day. Now, he walks from the family room through the kitchen and into the living room to put the hats on this chair. In the wintertime and in the springtime, in the wintertime and in the springtime, it might be a coat, it might be a sweater, but he just throws the things on that chair. I decided to pick my battles, and it's not worth fighting over. As a matter of fact, I did an Instagram post yesterday where I talked about this very things. If you guys missed it, check me out on Instagram, and please follow me on Instagram. I'm learning Instagram, so there's not a whole lot there yet, but I'm getting there. And Miss Linda there from the New Orleans Gardener is on TikTok. So Linda, I've started following you, and I created a TikTok account, and I've got 1 TikTok video up. 1. But I'm digressing. But you do those clutter stops in the morning after breakfast, do that clutter stop after lunch, and do another clutter stop after dinner before you go to bed for the night. It's just like doing that extra tidy up, and it just helps keep your house neat and tidy. And granted, I could keep nagging about putting stuff on that chair, or I could just pick my battles and just let it go and just hang it up. So when I come downstairs in the morning, I do my yoga. After I roll up my mat, I pick up whatever hat is laying on the chair and put it away. Throughout the day, as I'm doing different things and I do my clutter stops, I walk through the living room. If there's a hat, I put it away. You just kind of go from place to place in your home, checking those places that typically will collect clutter, and you try to stop it in its tracks. So, in case you guys got tired of watching that video on the loop, I decided not to get tired picking up those hats. And then here's the other thing. I've talked to several women, or I know of several people who have lost their husbands or a family member lately. And I thought, I would hate for those hats not to be there. I would hate not to have those hats to pick up. So I've decided I'm just not going to complain, and I'm just going to make that a part of my routine. So let's see. People are still talking about, excuse me, my throat's getting dry. Sorry about that. So Nanny Joe is being congratulated for winning the apron note tonight. Blue Skies says she needs to get a shredder. She doesn't know what happened to the one she used to have. Clutter stop. So again, I will explain what a clutter stop is. A clutter stop is when you stop clutter from accumulating. As I showed you on that chair, if I let those 2 hats sit there, they'll become 3 and 4 and 5. Hats can accumulate. They multiply like gremlins on that chair. But I stop them in their tracks by picking them up 3 or 4 times a day and getting them put away. In my kitchen, on my counter that's between the family room and the kitchen, there's like a little ledge there. It's a good place to set things. Like I'll put cards there, or if I'm working on the table, I might just sit whatever over there just to get it out of the way. Or on top of the microwave is a big place for things to go. For some reason, clutter likes to accumulate there, but I will pick it up and put it in its place. So stop it in its tracks. So as Blue Sky says, the more chairs or places she has where she can drop things, she will. So she's trying to eliminate all of those hot spots. And you can do that by 3 or 4 times a day. When you make a circuit through your home, look for those hot spots. Like this is a big hot spot in this room. So I brought this phone in here to listen to see who was on the phone if I got a call. So there's that. And then if I'm working on my camera or at the video, I'll put the camera up here. But these aren't things that will stay there. I will move them when I leave the computer for the day. Chris said she loves it. I'm a sweetheart. Hey, you know what? She says she doesn't mind picking up after her hubby after 40 years. It's an act of love. Yes. So after 50 years, because we've been married 50 years, I think 50 years. We're 50 years on our anniversary. I just figure there's no point in fussing over those hats because they're going to be there. So I just pick them up and put them away. So Nefertiri says no TikTok over there. She's still trying to make peace with Instagram. I'm trying to make peace with Instagram too. However, I went to a YouTube conference about 2 weeks ago so that I can learn how to serve you guys better. And one of the things that the keynote speaker, who was Gary Vaynerchuk, talked about was, he said, if you're not on TikTok, you're missing a great opportunity to serve your audience. So I'm trying. And TikTok is very similar to Instagram, but there's enough differences that I'll have to learn. But like I said, I just created the account 2 days ago. I have 1 video up. That's it. Just 1. Patience said, yes. She said it's a blessing for the hubby to still be here, and we must pick our battles and be thankful. Exactly. You have to pick your battles about what it is you're going to fuss about. I just decided, you know what? It's not worth battling about those hats on the chair. Now, there are other things I'm like, okay, that cannot stay there. That just has to go. But the hats, so pick your battles. Exactly. Kim said she has areas where she drops items as well, her gloves, hat, umbrella, and she started putting a bin there to collect everything. Now, my daughter, her husband is always losing his wallet and his keys. So she puts a little basket on top of their refrigerator. So now when he comes in, he puts his wallet and his keys in the basket on top of the refrigerator. One of my other people on Instagram, I had asked a question, what little annoyances do you have to deal with on a daily basis? And they talked about having to move shoes all the time from one place to another. One said her husband always left his shoes and socks on the floor by his recliner. You just have to pick your battles and decide what will work. And if there's a simple workaround, like for example, Jill puts the basket on her refrigerator so he can drop his keys in there, then that's a good solution, that kind of thing. Nanny says they've eliminated horizontal surfaces, less opportunities to have hot spots. Also, you can put maybe some kind of a decor on top of that surface too. So that takes care of it as well. Ha ha. Thank you. Yeah, May 13th was our anniversary. So Kathleen says a Hoarder's Heart channel, her videos are so encouraging. And as a matter of fact, a Hoarder's Heart is part of the collaboration that I've been working with for this month's June collaboration, which was bathroom decluttering. And yes, she has her own struggles and her videos are very encouraging. It's called A Hoarder's Heart, so do check her out. My TikTok is called The Apron Diva. My Instagram is The Apron Diva, and my TikTok is The Apron Diva. So you can find me on TikTok and Instagram as The Apron Diva. So please follow me over there, and we'll see what happens. And then Marissa says that her parents' wedding anniversary is on May 13th as well. All right. So yeah, follow me at Instagram and on TikTok at The Apron Diva. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen one more time because I want you to see the last slide. And the last slide is Declutter Your Life with Kat. And like I said, this is Kat, my personal mentor. And she does an excellent job teaching the Flylady system. And she's got a video that I listed here, how to do the Flylady cleaning system for newbies, my way to declutter your life. And then there's the link for that. So you can check that out just to be introduced to how to do the Flylady system, because it can be a little overwhelming when you first get started, but she makes it so easy. And then she does a live stream every week where she does a Q&A where we can, she gives a topic for the day and then people can ask questions and different things like that. So do check out my personal homemaking mentor, Flylady Kat. So there's that. So, Blue Skies put up my Instagram, and she won't be able to put up my TikTok probably since I just got it yesterday. Had I thought of putting a coat rack there? Putting a coat rack where? Now that's what I'm trying to think of. Okay, great. Bonnie's going to follow me now. But coat rack where, Kathleen? Tell me where you were thinking. Oh, here's my TikTok. She found it. Who knew? It's all of that? Wow. Okay. Where were you thinking of putting a coat rack? Now, let me just go back for a second. If you're thinking about the coat rack for the hats, so Kathleen, tell me, where were you thinking of the coat racks? The coat rack where? Because when I'm going to go back to sharing the screen for a second, just so that I can try to see if I can figure out where you meant. So this is where the hats always are, on the chair right here. So I'm not sure where I would put a coat rack. So you're like right there, I've got like a little table that I put, a little accent table that I put things on. I suppose there's a corner over there that I could put something there for. But I don't know where I could put a coat rack there. And he likes to be able to see the hats. And for those of you that don't know, my husband is bald. So he chooses hats to put on every day when he goes outside. Like we choose shoes and purses and dresses. He chooses hats. He must have at least 50 hats. And he's probably donated quite a few. So not sure where I would put a coat rack there. So let's see. So she thinks I was with a coat rack where Will lays his hats. And I thought that was what she meant. So I was showing where I thought that might be, but I don't know. But maybe it's something I need to figure out. Because like I said, right now it's just hats. But then when it gets fall, winter, and spring, then it's sweaters and jackets and coats. So yeah, I probably need to do something different there. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for joining me. We have covered all of my 7 topics. So tell me, what is your aha moment? What lesson have you learned from Flylady Kat that I've shared with you? Which one of the 7 lessons that I shared from Flylady Kat resonated with you? Tell me in the comment section below. And if you can think of someone that could benefit from this video, please share it with them. And I want to invite you to check out my latest video where I did a reset underneath my bathroom sink. And also, if you saw that one, then check out my messy house and wartime sweet potato biscuits. That was a fun video. The messy house and wartime sweet potato biscuits. Be sure to check that out. And so when we take a look at what people have learned, so Max is saying, what about at the bottom of the stairs? That's a possibility. I could put like a little coat rack there. That is a possibility. Now, whether or not it would get used is a good question, because you can see here, right here on that little banister dowel rod, a lot of times hats will get hung on there, or a jacket will get hung on there. But now keep in mind, the closet is right there. And he's walking by the closet to get to the chair. So, go figure. That's all just go figure. But okay, let's take a look at what people have learned from the video. And yes, please show me some love. Click the thumbs up. Let's see. So Diamond says you can't organize clutter. Very true. You're quite welcome. And Kim says 1 inch of paper clutter daily. Yep. And Mickey says what got her was pick it up, don't pass it up. Yes. Nefertiri likes no pouring on ketchup. Yes, no pouring on ketchup. If there's no behind, you just step in right where you are. And Nanny Joe says, not trying to catch up, just start where you are. Mickey's laughing. And then Patience says the lesson on picking up stuff instead of just avoiding it for later. Yes, that clutter stop as part of your evening routine. And then Danita says she likes, I see you and I have a plan for you. And I used to tell that to Blue Skies. I used to say, Mickey, Blue Skies. So, don't get distracted. Just work on this. Just say, I see you and I have a plan for you. And she would say, oh, that doesn't work for me. I got to take care of it right now. But she has now learned to kind of incorporate that into some of the things that she's doing. She's learning to put things on her list and focus on whatever she's focusing on and doing some things later. So that has been helpful. So I want to thank you guys for joining me for this 7 lessons that I've learned from YouTube. I'm going to follow this series up again. And I'm thinking that my next YouTuber might be Jennifer Scott from the Daily Connoisseur, because I've learned a lot from her. And then here's the other thing. I'm going to need to move the show from Thursdays to Wednesdays in June. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to still be at 7:45 Eastern, but it'll be on Wednesday instead of Thursday. And we'll see how that works out. So more from there. So let's see. Nanny Joe says, so yes, Nanny, I forgot to say that. Nanny, send me your home address, and you want to email it to me. And my email at thisandthatwithdenise@gmail.com. Email it to me. Don't put it in the chat because that's public, not private. So email it to me, then I can send you out your apron note. And then yes, I meant July. Changing it from Thursday to Wednesday in July, not June. It's June now. What am I thinking? So, okay. All right. And Kathleen, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Max helped me figure that out too. So, yes. So, all right. So, this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So, leave me a comment, not in the chat, but in the comment. Leave me a comment and let me know how you like this new series. And I heard your message. Several of you have said that you prefer to hear me and not always have a guest. So I'm trying to pay attention and do what you guys like. So we'll see. So in the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye and I'll see you guys next week. But leave me a comment as to how you like the new series and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. We'll see. Good night, ladies and gents, if there's any out there. And thank you so much for those who joined me tonight. Bye.